Started.
Mr. Alex? Alright, good. Let's see here. So, alright, when we last left our group of adventurers, we had just managed to, each of you had decided to join it to, had heard of a murder that has taken place on this door of an ironclad cruise ship. Some of you more directly than others, some of you by working with someone else. And as each of you were investigating the scene of the crime, where a woman had been apparently murdered, leaving her corpse coated and bloated with several fungi. Each of you had found that this might be a crime of passion. There's no sign of a murder. There wasn't a sign of a murder weapon on the scene, but with some of yours groups' own with your own personal knowledge of how certain weapons wound flesh. You're able to discern the nature of the weapon being either a scimitar or a cutlass. There was no sign of a struggle, and the culprit used the victim's lipstick, which was odd to say. There's not the weirdest thing, but well, that being said, let's see here. So for clarification, Naz, also known as Beverage Kitty, will not be joining us for the campaign unless something in the future changes. She is currently going through some stuff, and she needs some breathing room, so it's fine. So in the future, there may be a new player, there may not be. I hope maybe someone I can get someone in to fill in, and we can finally go back to even numbers. But yes, there is So unfortunately, So
I
for the
feel
story
like
reason,
you know my position on that. To just kind of feel the loss, and let's go with the number of players that we have now.
So yeah,
our time can be quite limited, and new players can often strain this.
Yeah, it's fine.
In
the meantime,
this is kind of weirdly cold to say.
It's fine. Let's see here. So Datura, for all sake of brevity, the story reason for as to why Datura is not joining the party at the moment is, well, having a body but no soul, and the soul being literally torn out of the person, is particularly unnerving. Because, well, that sort of thing is quite heinous. So, out of fear for her own life, and well, she will not be participating in the investigation. Though if you wish to speak with her regarding her own expertise, while she's on the ship, you can find her with, you can probably ask Ronaldo Quixote Castillo.
I do want to go over some of the evidence quickly, because if I remember correctly, we had discovered that this was possibly like a cult. What was that cult that both Laurel discovered?
It wasn't a cult. It was a group that...
It was a secret organization.
It was the travel agency, and we need to question them as much as thoroughly possible.
Well, so one of my ideas is, I want to ask, and we're out here for months. Does the ship grow its own food? Where does the food come in? I have a train of thought.
The food? Where it comes from?
Is there like a huge stockpile that's good for months? Or do they like grow their own food?
Combination of the two. They have certain exotic foods that need to be prepared immediately once it's ripe. again, you'll have to look more into that, but it's mostly stored food.
So, because one of the biggest things is with how many people there are on the ship and how quickly food can go bad. Now, this is magic and all that good stuff. Food expires incredibly quickly. If there's not like proper refrigeration or something. Now, not saying it's not possible, but for food to, I want for Hajime to investigate how this edible mushroom came into play, because
All right.
I want to specifically look at the staff and the cooks, people that have access to the food.
All right. Would anyone else like to join her on this?
What's my nature skill again? 5.
Can I roll cooking skill?
No, God.
That was a skill that I just forgot to
Oh
put
yeah,
in
Master
for a
Duke.
while.
We can hear a TV in the background.
You're gonna have to mind it for a minute because
It's relatively quiet. It's not all.
It's relatively, but it is there. Nevertheless,
yeah,
just let me keep note of.
I am currently putting food away. So I am almost done. Because, like I
It's
said,
alright.
just get groceries.
Okay. Well, all right. So, is anyone going to join Hajime in the search for where this mushroom comes into play?
Nah.
All right.
So-
Bookable? Yeah, or would you like to join
Yes.
Hajime in seeing how the mushroom?
Yes.
Okay. And Flutter, will Vera like to see what's going on with the mushroom and how it comes into play? Or does she have her own plans that might better suit her abilities?
Sure, she'll join.
All right. Okay. Next, I guess it's going to be Lamp. Ooh, yes.
Wait,
After last time,
the guy got away.
we know that there's someone on the ship, right?
Your voice
Yeah.
voice changer's fucking up.
Yeah, it's fine.
I just want to let you know that I just want to talk with the guard and maybe see and maybe warn them about this.
Of course. Very well. All right. And let's see here. All right, noted. Lemon Chopper, is there anything that Flint would like to do in regards to us looking into this looking into what's going on regarding this murder? Or would you like to join Flutter, Vera with the investigation of, or not investigation, but in the informing the guards and security of the possible threat?
Vera can handle things in a more official capacity, so she most likely has that down.
And you also have a bit of fame, so you may slow things down. Fair enough.
It also may incite some weird controversies or whatever, getting tangled up in all of this more publicly. So let's go to a more private source.
All right. So
If they're a place for it, I will either have him contact his patron or his friend / middleman to see if he can find some extra info on the travel agency.
all right. All right. Noted. And will anyone like to...
It may not be the wisest thing to go directly for the patron, so I'm angling more towards middleman if he's not too busy.
All right. Roll. I'll get to you shortly. Then, in that case, Dino.
Do
what
take
would
your
you?
time. I might have to be ERB as well.
Okay, Dino. What would you like to? What would Lucid like to do regarding investigating this murder?
Well, As I have recently learned, for some reason, Lucid doesn't know the spell Detect Magic. I don't know why I don't know Detect Magic, because it is a fairly basic, elementary, and quite useful spell. So that means walking around the ship for potentially anomalous sources of magic is a bit more difficult. Otherwise, I don't really have too much to do. I suppose I will just... Oh god, my nose. I will work with the actual investigative force in any amount that they may require a wizard's assistance.
All right. And would any of you like to take any of your compatriots to assist you on your goals? Have Abdul, Benor, and Nolan. You can only take one per group or per single person, and each of them have their own skill sets. Abdul deals in the occult. Benor deals with magic and beating the shit out of people, and Nolan is just he's Nolan.
I don't see any reason for Hajime's group to take a compatriot. Because there's Parias and Hajime, and the two of them together can take on just about anything.
Alright. Lamb Chopper, would you like to take any of the compatriots to assist you on your things, on your goals? Lamb Chopper? Oh, right, he's okay. Flutter, is there anything that would Vera like to take any of the compatriots to assist her in her goals? Flutter, are you there?
Oh, sorry, I was muted.
It's fine.
I don't think
Any of the compatriots would be really useful there. Would
they?
It's just putting
no.
notice.
Depends. I mean, it's always good to have somebody covering your back, but also, I mean, depends on the skill set. Nolan is good when it comes to, the bad cop aspect of investigating. And also, he's let's see. Yeah, he can assist in combat in case things get hairy. I mean, they could all help in combat. But well, she can detect spells. She can detect whether or not a spell or spellcaster is nearby via her arcane reverberation.
That's useful.
I'll take care of
All
that.
right. Okay. You can find. I'll get to where you'll find her. You don't need to roll investigation, as she would have informed you as to her whereabouts. Dino, what would you like to? Would you like to take any of the compatriots, and if so, which one?
Benora is still available, right?
Benor is currently with going to be taken by Vera.
Oh no, not
Abdul
Benor.
is
Not Benor. Nolan.
Nolan, yeah, he's available.
I may as well recruit Nolan into this. He seems to have a solid enough head on his shoulders for magic.
Yeah. All right. And let's see here. Lamb Chopper, are you there? Oh. All right. Well, then I guess he's AFK for now. So we'll just continue then. I'll ask him later. Let's see here. Who to start off with for these three groups of people? Let's start with. That's interesting. Hajime and Parias. When Hajime asks about the how the food is prepared and how this could have come up. They give you directions as to uh, the cafeteria, not cafeteria, the dining hall, but specifically to a doorway that leads into the kitchen, the main kitchen, where they also store all their food. Um, it takes you a little bit, but you do eventually get there. The dining hall has, at this point, a few people who are not really some people that are eating right now, a bit later breakfast, and some people who are currently just like talking to friends or family or colleagues or just socializing in general. It's relatively quiet and for the most part barren. You just see some servers coming in now, and you do see one approach you. A a human fellow with olive skin and jet black hair, with a mustache, uh, who's also wearing a white dress shirt and a black vest, as well as black dress pants and some some very nice shoes. He walks up to the two of you and says, "Oh, how can I help you, Mrs. Mister?"
Hajime will take a step forward. We are here to investigate the recent happenings that's going on in the ship, and I need to talk. I might need to talk with one or one of the servers real quick.
Ah, yes, the investigator sent me a message about this. One moment, follow me. And he gestures for the two of you to follow suit. Vocable, actually, Parias. You sense something on his person that feels a bit out of place. You notice a amulet around his wrist. You sense it due to your abilities around his wrist that appears to be not wood or metal, but bone. It's just a solid wooden ringlet around his wrist.
That's mildly concerning. Okay.
All right. As the two of you are brought over into the kitchen, you see, though, there's very little going on in terms of the actual, customers coming in, guests coming in to enjoy a meal. There's actually a lot of activity. You see people, you see people, humans, halflings, some beast folk, and some lizard folk, just coming in and out, moving in dishes and plates, dicing up fruits and vegetables, preparing looks like on occasion what looks like rice and noodles and all sorts of food. It's a rather large kitchen, and you just hear just a lot of commotion. People get yelling at orders, informing somebody else that, "Oh, we're out of salt. Can you get some? We're out of salt here. We need some more here." And someone going out to retrieve it calls that he managed to get all the, let's say, like a lot of all of the tomatoes for the next few weeks, or not, and for the next few days, completely diced up and ready for preparation and stuff like that. This sort of stuff. But it's a very noticeable difference compared to the sort of feeling outside, and certainly a very odd sensation, I imagine, for Parias. Yes. There's all this movement and all this sight.
Not necessarily. Not odd. It's there.
Oh, then my apologies. Then yeah, so he's the server just sort of says, "Is pardon me. We're preparing for the quite. This always happens in between food, in between meals. A lot of preparation and a lot of he he just sighs. A lot of chaos, as you notice a man, an or half a half yeah a half orc man currently uh, standing over a chef who is currently stirring what looks like a large pot of noodles. He grabs a nearby what looks like a large fork with 3 prongs. As he quickly dips it in, spins it around, and pulls it out, and just bites the entire thing out of the fork. The person stirring it is sort of staring at him, like saying and waiting for a response. As he says, "Needs more, needs more, needs more, needs less salt. Dump it out. Dump it." And the human man just he just
There's that thing.
slumps over. Like, oh, come on, I've been working on this for hours, sort of look.
Just add more of everything else. What do you mean? Was it meant to be like dish preparation?
He then notices the server and the 2 of you coming in, and he says, "Hey, no civilians in here, no guests in here. I'm sorry, we do not wish to get any of you hurt." And the server says, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Chef Chef Zach, these are some investigators regarding. They're checking something regarding the murder." And he just says, "Okay, what does our department have anything to do with that grisly scene?"
Do I have the evidence baggie of the mushroom?
Yes, you would have. You would have. I imagine you would have taken it. Yeah, so you do.
She turns to face the did you say orc?
Half orc. Yeah.
Half orc.
He's particularly dark in his complexion, very deep jungle green. But it's very offset by his very warm brown eyes. Weirdly enough, where his skin looks very worn and ragged, his eyes are very calm and soothing. You can't really see his hair, but so he might very well be bald.
Okay. She is going to straighten her back, composure herself, put on that fake smile she's all too well known. Kind of feign the bravery a little bit. And reaches into her bag, I guess, and grabs the mushroom.
All right.
During the scene of the crime, we discovered that, I personally discovered this mushroom that I suspect that could be from the chef's quarters. Where the food grows, the pantry, however. And I suspect it might be one of the servers in question. That might be at least know something he's not supposed to.
As you say this, as you finish your sentence, he's listening to you. He's taking everything you're saying very seriously. He's crossed his arms and he's maintaining eye contact with you. It's a bit unnerving considering his his likely affinity, probably his affinity with blades. But he's He's just very calm. He's taking everything you're saying very seriously. And as you finish that, he says, I understand. I understand. And he grabs the server who who brought you over by the collar and slams him on the ground.
Okay. Concerning.
He puts his hand on his face and asks him, "What did you do this time?" And he says, "Nothing, nothing. I did do nothing." And what you notice, his accent's noticeably different. I didn't do nothing, mate. Look, I don't know what you're talking about regarding the fucking. Okay, it just about 3 months ago. But the goddamn noble who kept on fucking tripping me over. And he says, yes, it's about that noble who kept on tripping you over. And he says, he was a fucking ponce. And he kept on tripping me, making us waste food. And you almost killed him. Yes, and I almost killed him, but almost being the main word, okay? As he grabs him, picks him up by the collar again, and slams him against the ground. You see his eyes roll back as he goes unconscious. There, confession.
Did they say it was a male?
Yeah, they said he was a word.
So she goes up to the orc.
He's
like
not too far away. He's like literally a few feet away.
Is he like on top of the guy?
More along the lines of, how do I put this? He's sort of just how do I? It's hard to describe. I'm not really used to describing postures and stances and stuff like that. He's on a knee, and on his left hand, or he's holding the guy down onto the ground with his left hand. He just slammed him against the ground, basically.
Okay.
Tripped his leg and had him slam against the ground.
Okay. So he's kind of leering over him, if anything.
Basically, yeah. I mean, he's unconscious, so there's not much to leer over, but yeah.
Yes. I never said it was a male. I'm curious who this noble is in question, but our victim was female.
Oh. This makes things complicated.
Tell me
He
about
looks at the rest of the chefs who are just stopped what they're doing and just staring at the scene. He says, "What are you doing? We have lunch in a few hours, and all these ingredients are going to come to waste if you don't finish your job." As they just keep on going as if nothing happened.
So could you please tell me more about this noble? The one that she does air quotes tripping him?
Yes. My apologies. It is old habit I have from my homeland. He picks him up and pulls up like a chair from. He walks. He says, "1 moment, please." As he goes and picks up a chair, sets it down next to the server who brought you over, and almost very gentlemanly sets him up, props him up onto the chair. The man he literally just a few moments ago just slammed against the ground. Yeah, he will be fine. He's only bruised.
Does he look like any injured at all, or is it just like a straight KO?
Just a big bruise on his forehead.
Okay, because I was half tempted
That's starting to form.
I was just half tempted to cast Cure Wounds on him.
In a mechanical sense, yeah, he basically non-lethal just beat the shit out of him.
Reduced his hit points to 0 non-lethally.
If we're talking about game mechanics, yes.
I will burn a spell slot to cast Cure Wounds.
That is not necessary, but thank you. as you cast it. Roll for how much you heal. Okay. It's odd. It's odd seeing like a bruise just sort of invert on itself, and turn and having the forehead go back to normal as you wakes up. Hello. Oh, as he looks over, just oh no, 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 just no, just no. He says, I am sorry. No, I don't want to. No, no, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. He says, it was an honest mistake. As the server just sort of stands up. I'm gonna go back to my cabin, and I'm just going to. Second time this week. Second time this week. He just walks out.
Not relevant.
He'll get over it. He's only bruised to his ego. So, regarding this nobleman, he is actually an Oresian man. A young Oresian man. I know many of his kind. Very pompous and very proud because he earned a lot of money trading silks and spices.
Can I roll history to see if I know who this guy might be?
Not a lot to go on. Only silks and spices. That's not exactly cutting it short.
Do you know a name of this fellow? I might have heard of him.
Yes. One moment. Let's see if I remember.
Q anti-researching in his notes.
Yeah, because I wrote this entire thing, so got a lot to pull up from. Yeah, I remember he's very origin name. Akim al was it Akim al Saladin? Yes. I'll just write it in for you guys, for you to see if you, just to make it easier for you guys.
Our region is our region's like the Arabic Egyptian area, right?
Yes. Akim al Saladin.
She's going to whisper to Parias. Our regions are great with scimitars and cutlasses. That's interesting.
That seems racist.
He's currently, the chef is currently just checking putting the chair away and conversing with one of the other cooks until one of you guys want to continue interacting with him.
Yeah. What else? She asked another question. How many staff do you currently have on board?
On board? About 75. We shift around. Depending on the meal, so that way they get their rest. We also have to accommodate to the nocturnal guests, so of course we also have 75 more to suit that. But that is that is the nocturnal department, not my department.
Okay, so another question. If you change around for every meal, who might have been on how many might have been on breakfast?
Breakfast. Let's see. How many days was this? Are you asking for?
What was this, like 3-4 days ago?
Yeah, it was 3 days ago.
I know it's a tough question, but it was 3 days ago?
That's easy. My brain, my mind, ironclad. It was, let's see, for, well, the server you just spoke to was one of the servers, but, let's see, actually everyone here.
Hmm. She takes a look around. How many numbers do I see?
You see 23. Or, sorry, yeah, you see 23. Yeah. Probably, 25 if you included the server who just left. There's 25 people in the actual. Actually, no, 23. My bad. Let's see here. Yeah, you see 20 in here. 20 cooks. You can probably guess that there's probably, judging by how many servers are outside, including the chef and the chef himself and the server who just left. In total, 25 people.
Which is a lot less than 75. Nice.
Yeah. So you have cut down your possible suspects greatly.
So my possible suspicion is our culprit might have served breakfast and stole a mushroom during that time. While they were preparing a meal or such. And by lunch they went on detail during that time.
Yes, and you think they stole that mushroom you showed us. The problem is they would not need to steal it. Breakfast is free. So, likely, perhaps they just picked it up and culprit ate it. Can I take a look at the mushroom?
Yeah. She hands him the mushroom.
Alright.
From what I do understand about it, man-made, edible, spicy.
I remember this, yes. You notice, actually, a bit of a difference to the mushroom now. There appear to be some brown spots on it. Signs of rot.
Fine.
Yeah. You blocked this recently, yes?
Off of the victim herself.
Ugh. He sort of wipes his hand off for a moment as he grabs a glove and grabs like a nearby leather glove and holds it. Apologies, gruesome. I may be half orc, but I take no joy in any sort of violence. I mean, I partake in sort of violences myself, in self-defense, of course. But it's just mushrooms. I eat them a lot of times, so it's odd. He turned around. Yes, we have these in stock. We prepared them for breakfast yesterday. Special order, actually.
How often?
Wait.
Are these mushrooms special order or specifically?
No, these mushrooms are not special. We grow them here on our ship because they decay very quickly. But there's also a trade-off to that. Follow me. Let me show you.
She follows.
All right.
Price will follow
So-
now. Detect magic.
You do so. And as you're brought over through the kitchen, you see some sauciers mixing up, creating some sauces and the such. Dishwashers cleaning some dishes, pots, pans, utensils, knives. You know the whole works. You also see a bunch of people coming in and out of where you're currently in, going towards. The ship is. We cater to a lot of tastes, including some ingredients that have to be prepared just as quickly as they pluck them out. That mushroom is very specifically made, at least the strains from what I recall, to grow much faster when exposed to compost.
So
Yeah, follow me. Follow me. It grows much faster. Which, wait a second.
I'm assuming it's magical.
It is because it's magical.
Okay.
It's a trade-off. It rots quickly, and it tastes, quite unique and for some delicious. But there's a very specific time period that you have to, or time frame you have to prepare it, cook it, and serve it, and for it to be eaten.
Who would have access to the mushroom stems or the seeds?
Everyone, please follow me as he walks you into the this room. You end up having to go up against the wall a little bit, and you all feel as if the air around you is becoming far more humid. Parias, let's see. No, come on. Stop it. Parias, you detect in the air a combination of, actually. No, yeah, you just sense strong traces of transmutation in the air, in just the humidity.
Like it was purposefully, the humidity was
Like
purposefully.
it's there. Yeah, it's like it's purposely created.
Okay. So I feel like some kind of plant growth, probably.
Yeah, and as the three of you make your way down, with the occasional chef or server coming down here, you notice that you begin to hear what sounds like water running. A lot of water running. As you reach the bottom, you see a large greenhouse inside in this ship, or in a large room. It's the room itself is not particularly large, but in comparison to the how much room a normal ship has, it's large. You see actually multiple small greenhouses, each one housing different fruits, vegetables, and in some cases fungi. And you do see a patch of mushrooms where that seemed awfully familiar. Yes, we grow. This is where we grow the more special ingredients. They're far more, how do you say, unique is to put it very lightly, but it's certainly but it is also just as equally expensive. This is one of the very few ships that has such a thing here. He gestures for you guys to follow him.
Yeah.
He brings you over to the mushroom patch, and he says, yeah, these mushrooms, they're very sensitive after being plucked. He with a leather glove, he shows you the mushroom, which is starting to blacken as it starts to encompass the rest of the mushroom. It only takes a few minutes once it's still inside some compost. Once it's pulled out, sorry, it only takes a few minutes for it to start to rot. But because of that very reason, it becomes a very well-savored ingredient for many of our clientele. As he tosses it into the compost. Actually, no, he doesn't toss it in compost. He hands it to you guys. Yeah.
Who is it? Just the servers and chef would have access to this?
Well, technically, yes. We would have access to this, but we were serving it to a single person a few days ago as a special order. I'm sorry, I don't mean to ask, but is this about the Resh woman?
Was that the woman that died?
Yes. She was Resh. She was a Reshite. or Ereshian, whichever you prefer.
Federation.
Well,
Yeah. If you're familiar, yeah, you see they kind of resemble red caps, except for one noticeable difference that you're able to discern. The mushrooms themselves are far more stiff and far tougher in comparison to red cap mushrooms. Whereas red cap mushrooms are, in order to much more easily distribute their tox or their poison into a body, it's a lot softer. These you can tell with your own personal senses, and through your familiar, you can discern the difference between this and a red cap.
so it's not a red cap, but it looks like one.
Yes, it's just noticeably stiffer and less poisonous. Instead, everything I just described.
Right. This does involve her. So it is, like I said, it is under my suspicion that she had known her would-be attacker, possibly someone of the working crew, either chef, server, or otherwise, and purposefully planted the mushroom in question to possibly get rid of evidence for the roots board.
That's revolting. He takes off his hat, and you see he actually has a full head of hair that was more or less completely hidden inside the hat. It just sort of rolls down. He has very thick black hair, very, very shiny, very curly, and almost wavy. She was a pleasant woman. She thanked me for her meal. Roll an insight if you guys want.
Oh, 100%. He knew the victim.
13. That's a pretty alright.
It's in the. Oh,
Natural one. Will you accept it?
I might re-roll that because I feel like this
Okay.
is important.
All right, go ahead.
Not a nat one.
All right. Hajime, he seems very sincere with his words. He's not exactly. Yeah, he's very distraught. He just. Maybe because, like he said, he knew her. Yeah, sorry, he knew her, but maybe. But then again, it's not unusual for some crew and some guests to get too close. However, Parias, you do see the same. You do sense the same sort of, grief and sadness on him, but you also sense worry and fear.
You knew the victim, the wretched woman.
Yes, she gave me one of her family's well-regarded cigars as a gift for providing her the meal as to her specifications. It's a very good one too.
Specification. Do you have any allergies or anything? Anything of note?
I'm not aware of any allergies. That would have to be the medical personnel if you wish to know more about her, if she had any allergies. But it was very odd. She ordered a leafy green. How do you say? He sort of snaps his fingers a bit. lettuce. Yes, lettuce. And some fish and rice for breakfast, along with the mushroom diced up all across the food. Very odd. I've never really heard of such a dish, but it was not particularly difficult. A simple dish. Any competent chef can perform. Any competent cook can create it.
What makes it so unusual?
Uh, I don't. It's fish. It doesn't seem particularly nutritious and not much flavor in it. She didn't even have salt or pepper added into it.
I do want to say she is writing, like, she has a list of notes she's writing down. I want to make that clear.
No nutrition, not as much nutritional value. Very watery. Not to be like it, but to each their own, I suppose.
I just have
Probably something that she picked up in a race, likely.
one of my ideas I had flowing was perhaps this was an insult. Perhaps it was more of an insult to the victim, where perhaps she could have been allergic to the mushroom in question, or perhaps this mushroom in question, and was used as a further disgrace.
Maybe. Do you have anything to say, Price?
Yeah. I was waiting for a moment.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
We'll just continue Hajime's questioning. Okay.
yeah. It's just a.
If she was allergic, it probably would have happened when she ate it. She seemed fine after when she thanked me and gave me the cigar. Quite pleased.
Gave him the cigar. I feel like that's important somehow. Like outside the game, one of my theories is that this was because she got into the tobacco business, where someone of a rival business felt threatened by her family entering the tobacco business, and so hired a hitman to send a message.
Yeah, that's one round. Do you have any other questions to ask him?
Attorney Pariah. Do you have anything? Because I can't think of anything at the moment.
What was that fear then?
Fear?
You looked
I'm sorry, I don't.
earlier, a minute ago.
I'm sorry, I don't understand. If you want, you can roll an insight.
Insight number 2, hell yeah.
Ooh.
Hey, that one's really good.
Wow.
19.
With a 19, he's not being truthful.
Okay, very cool.
He's very much just trying to change the subject matter. As he says, any other foods you think might have caused it? Perhaps the celery? It is a local delicacy among some of the Avrani Unionites.
That's not
Drug.
You were scared. You were fearful of something earlier. The name. I think it was maybe we mentioned the recipe, right?
Yeah, not.
The woman that was killed was Reshite, fur trader.
What are the exact specifics?
Fur trader turn tobacco dealer.
Yeah, I was trying to remember this
Remember
specific
her
point
name.
where it showed fear.
When she was killed, when
Okay.
talking about
The circumstances?
I
The
think
person
so.
who was murdered while on
Okay.
flight.
With the person. Okay. Do I go interrogator? Fuck it. Interrogator first.
What do you do? Alright, what do you do?
He's just gonna take a step forward.
Alright. Roll, Continue.
When it was mentioned, the victim, you were fearful. Why? Why were you? Did you have a connection of some sort?
Can I
Scared.
roll persuasion to coax any information out?
Well, actually, I was gonna ask Parias to roll persuasion, but if you want, you can help him.
Purse.
I have an
But what
11
do
to
you
persuasion.
say? But what do you say? Because keep in mind, this is Parias asking, not Hajime. So he has to be the one
I
who
would
rolls it.
love to use Hajime.
Because I was going to say, if you're hiding anything, it would be in your best interest to say something, or else you could be in trouble here.
If that is what Hajime says to
Yeah.
assist? Okay. Then Parias may roll with advantage.
Okay, this could go terribly. It's not too bad. It's 10.
And well, I mean, you succeeded because he rolled an 8.
Very cool.
Okay. He sort of pulls the hair away away from his face. She was with someone. It didn't look like it at first. His eyes sort of dart around him. Did you come alone? Are you being watched?
Not as far as we know. What do you know?
Oh my God. She was with someone. Man, I think it's hard to tell. When I tried to look at his face, it was his eyes sort of. He closes his eyes as he pinches his brow. God, why can't I remember? I can't remember his face. But she was with someone, maybe a man or woman. They were wearing a pants and shirts and jacket. I don't remember what kind, but
Would this be related to the coin conspiracy call that's on the ship?
well, here's the thing. Hajime doesn't know about it.
I thought the Torah said something about that.
Oh yeah, right. Sorry, you don't know for certain. He'll continue though. They were. They were very. She was laughing with them, not at him. He was yellow. He starts to grab the sides of his head a bit more tightly, as if he's trying to force something out, but he can't quite find the words at all.
So he doesn't know what this guy looks like. But
It's assumedly male. They were wearing like a pants, dress shirt, and a jacket. He doesn't know for what sort of shoes because well, the tables angle and stuff like that. But yeah.
Do you have a description of the clothing?
I can't remember. God, get out of my head. He starts banging the side of his head a bit.
Oh.
I don't know what I don't.
And he starts stepping back a little bit, a few steps.
I don't have. Something's in his head.
Do you have anything? I don't. Would punching him out.
He doesn't appear to recognize you as he's just swinging his head around, beating at his head, where you start to notice some bruising start to appear.
Supposed to. Okay, I'm gonna restrain him.
Okay.
Can I want to cat, what can Lester Reservation do?
Poisoned, diseased, and blinded, if I recall. And paralyzed. I think, but you can
No.
check.
It wouldn't work. I could attempt to charm him, charm person.
I don't know if that help.
Yeah, maybe. You don't know. Roll. Anyways, Price, if you want to try to restrain him, athletics, please.
Just trying to make him stop beating the shit out of himself. That's not a great roll. 15.
Alright.
Can I roll like Arcana or something real quickly?
Sure. Arcana or religion in this case.
That's 2v10. I think I know what I'm gonna take.
Alright. And Parias, you managed to grab around his wrist. Actually, how do you try to restrain him?
Basically grabbing his wrists and like lifting him up a little bit.
What way do you put it? Force his hands in front of him, behind him,
Up.
above him. Okay.
Yeah.
He's a pretty tall guy. He can try. You do so, and he's just trying swinging around. And within 17 in Arcana, let's see here. You recognize this as a sort of geisha.
A what?
Geisha. The writing for such a spell is, it's called, you guys call it geese. The original pronunciation of the word is geisha.
Well, that's stupid. So.
Hey, it's Welsh, okay? I ain't gotta explain shit.
Yeah, that's why it's stupid.
Welsh is stupid.
Hey, shut up. Anyways, you recognize this as the effects of a geisha. Sorry, refreshing my page there. So you recognize this as an effect of a geisha. Basically, for the viewers, a geisha essentially prevents someone from performing a certain action or saying something, and if they attempt to, wisdom save, or they start to, or something happens.
Could I attempt to cast Dispel Magic?
You can, sure, go ahead. What level do you cast it at, though?
Hold on, let me read it. What the benefit of upcasting is.
Actually, nothing. Never mind.
Well, it is
if
it's a magical effect, I think it's like, or if it's a spell effect, basically.
Yeah.
That's like specific wording.
Increases the level at which it automatically dispels.
Yeah, sort of like counterspell, but it uses an action instead of a reaction.
And it is locked.
Fuck it, I'll cast at 4th level.
Alright. What's your spellcasting ability for this? Charisma?
Wisdom.
Or wisdom, okay. I need you to make a straight wisdom check to see if you can dispel this, because it is above 4th level.
Straight wisdom, I guess. Oh, that's wisdom save, not wisdom.
Yeah, just reduce, so the modifier would be a +3? No, +4?
5. We have plus 4 proficiency.
Yeah, +4 proficiency, so...
20?
What's the... straight? 20. As you focus in on your powers that be, drawing from nature itself, you use it to shut down this spell effect that appears to be haunting this man. As you do, you notice it begin to, almost like tears and rain, disappear. eventually to nothing, as his body goes slack.
Is he out cold?
Pariahs can easily tell because his heart is very clearly beating. It's just a little bit slower, which often indicates he's just unconscious, probably from the
He's
immense
unconscious.
mental strain or physical strain.
Hold up. I'll keep him propped up, and I'll pull out a good berry. We want him conscious again.
All right, you put it into his mouth. Nothing happens.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. So you put it in his mouth, and
I was asking.
Oh,
how to
oh,
make
yeah,
him
you can.
conscious again.
oh, okay. Sorry.
Do we want him conscious? I could. Without
Can I tell if the effect is gone for good, or if it'll
You're
just
able to discern that it is gone, unless somebody casts it again. It is gone.
I'm gonna click. What's the situation? Is the door closed?
There's people just stopping and staring at what's going on.
Can I? I'm going to cast Detect Magic and see if anyone has recently cast a spell.
Okay. You look around. Every single one of these servers has recently cast a spell. Well, every one of these servers and chefs has recently cast a spell.
That seems like an important detail. What kind?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Transmutation, evocation, occasionally abjuration, but that's about as much as you can tell. Like, there's a few that have cast a few, like, let's see, a few that have cast, like, what was it? Enchantment. But you can easily see it's sort of like around them. So likely, or not enchantment, illusion. So it looks like as it's sort of around them, it might just be like some disguised self or some stuff like that, to like cover blemishes.
Disguise self is very shady.
A lot of them have it, yeah. And keep appearances.
That's still.
It's still very shady. So, what the geese, whatever you want to call it. Do I know what type of school it's from?
With your roll? One moment. I need to remind myself what it is.
A 17.
Yeah, no, I mean like the spells. Yeah, here it is. Geish. It is actually an enchantment spell, not an illusion.
So did anyone cast enchantment?
Nope.
He's going to stiffen her back and say, what are you looking at? Get back to work. We're doing official business.
Roll persuasion.
With my plus 11.
It's a bit odd seeing a little girl ordering them around, but they start to get back to work. Your sort of immediate force of authority put them back to what they were originally doing.
She takes a trembling breath and stiffens her back up again. Someone has cast this on him before. I didn't see any enchantment on any other servers, so someone has put this on him previously.
What of the one that left earlier? Actually, that's a good question. I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you were casting it there. No, he actually had no sign of magic on him whatsoever. Yep.
I feel like that's more suspicious.
Oh, maybe.
But
You could ask him
Suppose,
later.
uh, perhaps we come back later. Let him.
let him rest. I could make him conscious again if we need. Feed him in the process too. They're very good berries.
While we're leaving, I want to quickly jot down s some of the names of the servers there for later, in case we need to question them.
Alright, that's easy enough. You managed to get all of their names down. And will you attempt to wake him up or no?
Up to Carias.
Says nothing. Okay, I'm popping it in his mouth and.
Alright, as you do, he does not wake up.
Yep.
1 minute,
That's
or 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. He's still alive.
he is still alive, but he's not eats. That's not what. I'm just gonna lightly pat his face a bit.
Alright. You hear him grumble a bit as his eyes roll open. It was probably just like a slight delay or something. What?
How could you read?
What's
You're
happened?
waiting.
I remember
Oh,
you're asking me something, and then I just.
She kind of kneels down to his level. You were under the effects of gate. The key spell.
I've never heard of a spell about spell of birds. What's going on? What happened?
You. We were asking you about that. The man that that the wretched woman was with, and you started going to the list.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Don't worry, unless someone asks it again, that should be fine. I dispel it.
How can you be sure?
Much like tears in the rain, I saw it fade away.
Roll persuasion. Because he's panicked and everything just happened, he's not entirely sure if he can believe you. His muscle sort of relax a bit. His breathing sort of slows down to a much more calm pace. Yes. Okay. If you say so. If I die, it's all on you. It's all on you. If I die, I'm telling you. Yes, this man.
This, I'm suspect.
God.
Oh, but speaking of which, none of your men seem to have cast spell, so don't
They
go
wouldn't.
to.
They wouldn't. Don't worry. They're rambunctious and brave cooks, but they're not stupid. I can easily knock them down, and just as easily as how you say, a boar falls to a bowl of gas, burning gas. Yeah, fireball. Yes.
What happened? You were saying about the man?
I don't believe it was a man, or maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I'm not sure. I can't remember his face. It's like it wasn't there. It was there, but I couldn't see it.
And I.
But I remember he wasn't.
This sounds like something like a warlock invocation. Can I roll for that?
Religion or Arcana? with
Considering
disadvantage.
I mean, considering I'm also a warlock, wouldn't that cancel it out?
Yes, but your sort of warlock is different from this sort of magic or topic.
Okay, so still disadvantage.
Yeah. He sort of rumbles on something about man it wasn't wearing a suit. 13. You know that there are many kinds of technically magical effects, but don't require spells that could possibly produce this. Runes, invocations granted to one by a patron, sometimes innate ability. It's odd to put it to say the least. And you're gonna feed him. Okay.
Yeah.
You give him 2 more berries, and he thanks you for it as he feels a bit more energized.
Very good boost.
So,
And as you're sort of thinking this, the thing that he keeps on repeating is that it was somebody in yellow, a lot of yellow, not gold, just yellow.
oh. Keep mentioning.
Is it the man in yellow?
Is it the Yellow King?
Well, with the 13 Arcana, you know of that sort of entity, but do you want to ask him that?
I guess. You mentioned yellow. The only relationship I can think of is the Yellow King, the man in yellow.
King. Actually, as you say this, I need to make a just a straight D100.
Oh,
No, just Matsuduke.
I know, but that's weird. It's not normal. I know I'm going to...
57.
Okay. He says, I don't know if it was a man or woman, because they were in robes, and I was also wearing clothing, also yellow, vest, a coat, and a cloak, robes over it, dress pants, all yellow. I just cannot remember the name. Oh God, what could it be? What could it have been?
I know what a shade is.
I think you would have known what yellow is because of your familiar.
Yeah.
Well, yes, but no. He might have seen yellow, but never had be like, that's yellow.
Yeah. Roll a religion.
Me or Brian?
Parias.
Okay.
12.
Hey, you're the one asking these questions. I mean, you hear them being described as gray, not yellow. Big difference, though you've never really seen it. I mean, you know what gray looks like, but you've never really seen yellow. Or you've probably seen yellow, but you've never put the name to the color. Yeah. As he's recovering, and as you're taking your mental notes, we're going to move to some.
You want shades of color?
But there's 12.
I mean,
shades of color.
Like a color, like of yellow, for instance. Would I know it? That doesn't exist.
With the 12.
Yeah.
With the 12 in religion, because it's often used in a lot of religious symbology. You know of it. Yeah, like sun bleached yellow.
Okay, so I do know that. Okay.
Anyways, and as you guys are looking, as taking mental notes, helping him up, helping him recover, we're going to move to another person. Let's see here. Oh. So, Flutter, as you make your way down the hallways towards... yes?
Out of character, just
So if
why I
have to leave
put
at
it 40. I'll be back at like
Maybe
9:20
if the game is still
going,
going.
but
I need to pick my dad up from work.
It's fine. This should be, well, roughly the same time, or maybe shorter, but yeah, maybe. Kind of depends.
okay.
So as you make your way down the hallways towards where you last heard where Benur was, you hear the somewhat familiar clangings of steel against steel in the sparring room that Benor has been visiting more and more recently, but because of her rather aggressive stance towards you, would you say that you've been avoiding her, or have you just been giving her some space?
I've been giving her some space.
Okay, just making sure. Benor, as you sort of walk into this gymnasium, to say the least, you see Benor, still in her full plate, fencing with a familiar Dampier woman with silver hair and crimson eyes. As she appears to not, they both appear to be fencing. The lady, yes,
Familiar, you said?
yep, familiar, because recognize this as Magda Chestibor, the high noble family of Erether, or the closest one can get to a government official or senator in American terms of Erether.
I know her.
You saw her, yeah, right, you probably weren't there, but you saw Flint sort of accidentally lash out against her, but when she approached him, apparently Flint had saved her life a long time ago. And as such, she was able to make the Chestibor family a lot more well known. It was previously a dying house, but now it's alive, and she thanked Flint plenty for that. Oh, and she also overlooked the accidental attack. But yeah, you remember hearing from Flint that he asked if she'd be willing to train or spar with people, with him or anyone else in your team. Basically, offering training. She offers training in martial arts and stuff like that, and weaponry.
Cool.
You see Benor sort of fencing with a single blade, with a single blade, as she just thrusts and blocks incoming attacks with a parry. As Magda manages to get a strike at the center of her helmet, between directly between where the slits are, right on a piece of metal. And as it just stops, she just stops I swear, like a centimeters away. And Benor just stops moving for a moment. Your stance is a little lacking. What's your footing? Be less defensive. I was getting on you before about that, but just work to be more offensive. You can rely on your spells all you want, but they will not but they cannot bring you back from the dead. As she pulls the rapier back, and as they assumedly return to their positions, she notices the lady Magda Chestibor notices you and nudges her, just sort of points to you. Benor just sort of stops for a moment, confused, before noticing you. And you see that Benor sort of shuffle her armor. She cracks her neck. And she says, This is a fine place to stop our training. Just go do whatever business it is you need to perform. Benor just, let's see here. Benor tosses the rapier from 15 feet away into a nearby not sheet, like a bucket, almost a large, about like 4 foot tall, rectangular box with an opening at the top of it, where there appears to be other weaponry, specifically blades or swords, just right inside. With yeah, she begins to walk towards you, or towards towards you. As she approaches you, you notice something a bit odd with her stance. She appears far more relaxed. She says, "Can I help you?"
Hey, Benor, good to see you. We need your help. There's been a murder.
Hmm. You want me to continue? Do you want me to continue making more? Or,
Only if we find the culprit. But, well, no, we would probably need to question them first. But I need the culprit appears to be a high-level spellcaster, and I'll need your help. Keeping an eye out for him. You can detect magical sources, right?
yes. She sort of turns to the to Magda Chesterbor, who's just appears to be just doing some quick stretches. She sets down her blade. You hear an audible. My blade is at your command, my liege.
Excellent. It would be good. It will also be good to have someone to watch my back. I don't necessarily think it's a good idea for us to go alone at this moment. If this person is a high enough level spellcaster that
They pose a significant
threat to either of us.
if ambushed.
I'll do what I can. Just one moment as she extends out her hand, and you notice her sword is just hanging on a rack with in its sheath, and as the weapon just floats towards her. No sign of a hand, it just floats towards her. She adjusts the sheath onto her hip, or onto her back. Not onto her back. Sorry, her hip. Sorry, I'm forgetting her positioning for the weapon. And she says, "Let us be on, my liege."
Excellent. Our first step is to inform the guard of the
Prison situation.
And with that, I start leading towards the guard, telling Benor to keep an eye out.
All right. As you do so, roll a perception, or not perception, insight. Blech. My bad. Yeah, there we go.
1 second. I just realized I'm not signed in to roll 20.
It's fine. Just gonna roll perception for Benor. All right.
Okay.
All right.
As soon as the character sheet loads.
Yep. All right. Or if you want, I can roll for you real quick if you wish.
Sure.
All right. One moment. A lot of people moving outside of my front door. It's odd, but fine. Where are you? There you are. Oh, why is it disadvantaged? It's fine. 27. Actually, natural 20. You notice she appeared. Oh, that's perception. Well, same. Actually, no. It's a nice 4 in this case, but still, it's a natural 20. You notice that she's particularly. Oh, yes?
I was just going to point out that it is an advantage because of that armor piece, but it doesn't matter since natural 20.
Yes. So, you notice that she's particularly, you think, happy? You don't know for certain. Maybe content or maybe calm. You in your time with Benor, you haven't exactly seen her happy or smile. You decide to say anything of it?
No, I fear that if I bring it up, then it'll just ruin it.
It's fine. All right. In which case, she keeps her eye on about as she uses. Let's see here. Okay. She takes a moment to stop and actually physically touch certain. Yeah, here it is. She takes a moment to physically touch local objects, mostly like arcane magic objects, like a mat on the floor that is usually used to immediately and spontaneously clean somebody up. That's usually installed on floors. Let's see here. Some things and other stuff of the sort. Thing. Let's see here. As she does so, she basically just tells you that there doesn't appear to be anything odd in this area.
Excellent.
As you're just moving on.
Not necessarily excellent, because if we did sense something, then that we could find them, but...
Yeah, as you begin to make your way down towards the the main guard station in the ship, you notice, you notice as you're walking down, more guards generally around. A lot of guards, like in corners, around, like in front, between like the bathrooms, places like that. Just a lot more active. It looks like.
1 second.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
All right. You see, like I said, a bunch of more guards walking around, and as you make your way towards the actual main guard station, you notice several guards are just huddled around their tables, not tables, but huddled around like equipment station setups where they hang weapons and occasionally shields and stuff like that, staffs for those who are mages. And you do see a particularly familiar man, one of the people who was joined the investigation. Oraim. The dwarf who's trained in tracking. Appears to be huddled up with a group of other dwarves and just talking to them, it looks like.
The dwarf who's trained in tracking, is he trained in, like, tracking teleports?
You're not entirely sure, but you could ask.
Well, I guess it would be pointless anyways, because by this point, the criminal would have had time to get to go basically anywhere on the ship.
Yeah. In the meantime, so would you like to speak to him?
Yes. The crypt didn't leave behind anything, did he?
A hair. He did leave a hair.
Do I have that with me, or does someone else have it?
Would anyone else have taken it?
The hair was given to the proper authorities.
Yeah, so you could have taken it. They would have allowed you, since if you needed it for the investigation.
Yeah, I think I probably would have remembered that there's someone here with experience tracking.
Yeah. So do you approach him?
Yes, naturally.
All right. As you approach, you notice you start to hear more and more of the conversation. Ah, that's why, my friends. Well, you should always prepare a good old backup weapon. Now, on to the rest of the plans for the rest of for the shift. I heard from one of the captains that we have to keep an eye on some of the more odd folk walking around. I heard something about teleportation, so if you hear someone or see someone walking around, teleporting around as it all willy nilly, just because just because they bought a ticket, well, just talk to them. If they try to be difficult, then you can give them a nice walloping, and then talk to them. But don't kill them, obviously. Dwarves are nodding agreement. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. All right. Papa Toron has to speak to a young lady here. Now, if you gentlemen would kindly get off your ass and go make sure that psycho's dead. As the dwarves sort of, they they slam their right fist against their heart, and just in a sort of salute as they individually disperse. Fine folk, fine soldiers, a whole lot of them. Now, how can I help you, Miss? Lyra, was it?
Vera.
Ah, Vera, my bad.
Yes. Yes. I presume you've heard about the murder by now, of course.
Aye, I was there to check the scene. Not severe business. Or at least from what I heard, it might have been business.
Excellent. I have some information that might prove useful to you.
He sort of sort of rubs his beard a bit. It sort of more along the lines of it combing with his hands. I want this information now.
I went to investigate the scene of the crime, and my compatriots and I encountered the individual we believe to be the murderer.
Okay, all right. Show it.
Pardon?
Feel free to show it. I'm not gonna stop you. Go
on. Show it?
You have evidence, right?
Yes, I was getting to that. I was going to give you the description of the individual and then give you the hair, but if you want the hair first, then that works too.
Yeah, it's only bagging something after he was grabbed by that big arm at night. You sure he ain't no Goliath or something, one of them big folk?
Yes, presumably because Goliaths don't have hair, if I recall.
True. What do you think? What's your thoughts on the whole matter?
Out of character, can you remind me what the what we saw of the individual?
Yes, it appeared to have been a solid black, a humanoid figure that appeared to be wearing all black leather, a sort of zipper mouth and eyes, or the zipper around the mouth, where the mouth and the eyes should be, and brick and like stone-like rectangular feet.
Stone-like rectangular feet.
Yep.
Like not shoes.
It's almost like cement shoes, to put it more precisely. But he's actually able to move normally.
Two arms, 2 legs, no tail. Right.
Yep. No tail at all.
So that narrows down things a bit. Based on this hair, we can also infer a few things about him. I was wondering if you could infer some more about him from this hair, considering your specialty is tracking.
Well, I mean, those shoes are weird. When I saw them, those weird tracks, blocks, seem more like bricks to me. Makes sense though. If you want to hide your feet with tracks, you might as well wear something that cover it up. Still feels weird. You know, and also the worst thing about tracking.
What?
It's not the hunts. You know, the hunt's fine and dandy. It's the suspense. It's an eventuality of finding them, whether you find them or not at all. But you know, he's looked in here with us, so yeah, there's no way he's getting that.
Right. Out of character, how tall did you see him again?
He was about like 5'8". Not particularly tall, but you know, normal sized.
So bigger than a dwarf.
Yeah, definitely bigger than a dwarf.
So I could definitely rule out the dwarves of the guard, as well as any halflings, gnomes, Goliaths, orcs, unless it's like a really young orc,
Or half
really
orc.
taller, or half orc, or any taller, short individuals.
Yeah. Molly, what do you smell like?
Pardon?
Orim asks what he smells like, or what he smelled like.
Out of character, what did he smell like? I mean, I don't think I have.
Yeah, you were not able to smell him at all, aside from leather or cured leather. No, yeah, it was cured leather.
Yeah. Wait, did I say that
Ryuk was
there?
Yeah, Ryuk was there. He was able to detect cured leather. That's why you're able to know.
Okay, I'll say I wasn't able to spell him personally, but my companion here, and he not at Ryuk, says that he smelled like cured leather.
Now it's not even getting any fun anymore. I mean, he smells like cured leather. He's gonna stick it like a sore thumb. One sec. He removes a small box. Appears to be wrapped around his hip, which you know you could guess was like probably some sort of crossbow bolt case. But then you notice there's no opening on any side, and there's a latch on top. All right, one sec. Let me get my little friend here. He gets a bit wily, so forgive him. As he opens up the case, you notice a how do I put this? You know, I'm just gonna say it. You see a skeletal corpse of what looks like a panther. Not panther, I mean tiger.
Well, that's not disturbing at all.
One sec, he's sleeping. As he just tilts the box over. Go on then. Come on.
More than sleeping.
Don't worry, he does this sometimes. He's just angry because I didn't have him giving him his daily walkies because the people get all flippant and weird about it. Give him a sec.
Gee, I wonder why.
As he says this, 1 second passes. 2 seconds pass. Okay, I see you're just being difficult. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not ashamed of you. I love you. You have been nothing but nice and helpful to me, and I still respect you for your skill. Is that what you want to hear? As he says
Now
this,
just watch him pop up
Skull-
because he's been an undead this whole time.
actually, yeah, unironically, yes, as the skeletons, or as the bones begin to rearrange themselves and sort of interconnect, as they eventually form this full-sized skeletal tiger. That's better. If you want, you can roll either a religion or arcana.
This is actually
No history.
This would not be a history.
Religion or Arcana.
Jokes.
I wonder why my Arcana's higher than my. That's weird.
Because expertise. You got a feat. I gave you expertise, if I recall.
Not Arcana, that
That
was
was in history.
Ah, that's weird.
I'm trying to figure out why my Arcana is 1 point higher than my.
My religion up.
Oh well, I'll figure it out later.
It's more about the angle of information that you would like to learn. Religion would be its religious significance, and and arcane would be how this actually functions.
Basically, yeah. But with it's normal. So
Yeah. Not sure why. I had normal select. I'm not sure why.
Let me see.
Let me select
yeah,
A different thing and then
select.
yeah, it's odd. Oh
I
well.
don't know, whatever. It's still in that one. Doesn't really matter because this guy's here to explain it, so I'm not going to.
You're not exactly sure as to what he is.
Actually, you know what? Since I gotta leave in like 5 minutes, I probably am gonna roll it since it's probably going to be my last and only thing of the day.
All right, I'll roll it then. Or do I use the 11? Actually, all right. Yeah, we'll use your 20. All right. With a modified 20, you actually know of these, mostly from like stories in Resh, and actually in some churches of the Iranian, specifically those that deal with the are focused on not the destruction or hunting down of the undead, but the scholarly learning of them. There are rangers that exist that instead of having a traditional war beast, they go through this sort of ritual of sorts, where the beast that they bind to is something that is already dead. In the case of this, it is a tiger. These sort of rangers are known as imperial hunters. Usually Darkul and Dampier keep these sort of rituals and the such to themselves and to their own bloodlines, if they have bloodlines. But on occasion, they will allow training for some non-Darkul or Dampiric folk.
What are they called again?
Imperial hunters.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, you're an Imperial hunter.
Aye.
Suddenly things make a lot more sense.
Yeah. Always did feel more comfortable around corpses than the living. There's not much of a difference in this case.
Oh, that's not disturbing.
Well, yeah. All right, this here is Nessie. She's been with me for a good few, decades. So, you got something to share with her?
I'm like, I've been down to greet Nessie, and then I'm like, should I just give her the hair, or?
Towards Benor?
Pardon?
Sorry, say this to who?
Towards the dwarf.
Oh, yeah, right. First time. Completely understandable. Yeah, she may be undead, but she still has her sense of smell. It's weird. I don't question it. It's better that we just don't question it, yeah.
I have theories, but that's for another time. So I've been down to give to greet Nessie, pet it, and then give it the hair.
All right. it accepts the pet and just sniff. And you actually feel like wind that you normally feel like from a living creature as it inhales, which is odd. But that aside, the tiger Nessie sort of sniffs it a little bit gently, and then begins to look around and sort of pause at Oraim. It's just, oh, looks like she's got something. Come on, she'll start running if when she gets close, so it's a dead giveaway.
Excellent. We'll come along with you.
Ah, perfect. By the way, who's this taller lass?
This is Benor. She's a friend of mine, essentially. Long story.
Ah, no need to explain. Friends and colleagues and all. Didn't need to explain it all. No pleasure to meet you, ma'am. I see you're a purveyor of good goods.
She's also capable of sensing magic reverberations, so she'll be quite useful.
Good, good. Especially if it's one of them teleporting folk. Oh, this will make things interesting. As you begin to walk down the street, not street, but walk down the roads. I'm not the roads, the hallways. And it will switch over to someone else, so you're free to go.
Excellent. I'm guessing the game will probably be over by the time I'm back, so, yeah, have fun.
Yep. Alright. And finally, let's see here. I need to know, Flint, Lamb Chopper, is, for his thing, is he going to take someone, one of your compatriots, are you going to take one of your compatriots with, or are you going to take, no, actually, everyone's been taken except for Abdul. Would you like to take Abdul with you for your, thing?
That's interesting.
He is this.
A quick ask if that wouldn't be so. A part of me needs to analyze the social situation on whether or not that would be acceptable.
I mean, you know that he's like just doing things like meditating and, well, not really socializing with noble folk. There's actually a small group of binders on board. A very small one, like 2 or like 4 at most. 5 if you include him.
I mean, like, on the patron and friend angle.
Ah, okay. Then in which case, religion or Arcana to commune. I'm assuming you're gonna do this like in your own room or something like that.
Somewhere that would be more safe and way easier to clean up with a lot of prestidigitation. This is
there's a bathroom. Yeah, there's a bathroom in your room, so, or in your cabin. Sorry, in your cabin.
Anyway, time to make horrible man period joke here.
Hey man, there's nothing to be ashamed of. 13. Okay, it's a
He's
bit
aiming
rough.
for middleman, more or less. So
Yeah, you commune. As your vision goes black, you actually don't feel, you don't open your eyes to a void-like space. You actually find yourself surrounded by a definite wetness and seeing red. You appear to be making contact with your patron directly, in this case. Do you just, I take it, do you swim up to the surface? Hello?
why wouldn't he? He would probably
All right, just making sure. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, he will.
All right,
He will.
you
I
do
don't know what I
so.
was pausing on that for. I can't really play with that.
It's all right, mate. You're good. You're human. We suck. It's all right. Anyways, so you begin to swim up to the surface, and you notice your patron is not directly there at first, as the wind is like there's no wind at all. It's just the humidity of this blood-like fluid, as his face begins to rise out.
First time I tried to directly contact the middleman, and he's too busy.
What do you want?
I came to ask about information, specifically involving travel companies that you know that I know about.
He extends his hand outwards towards thin air. One of them has spilled blood in my name. He did not survive the process. For he desired power for power's sake. Not like you. I know this group. Very few members, and perhaps some of them maybe have expired.
But until he takes some note in his head to see, to know he might have to contact some dead folks.
Yep. So do you tell him what he looks like? Because he knows your thoughts. He doesn't know everything you've seen.
What do you exactly mean?
Sorry. He knows. Sorry, let me rephrase that. I was
Oh,
forwarding.
you mean the guy
knows
we
what you
fucking
know.
Almost caught.
Yeah, the guy you almost caught. Are you gonna describe it to him? You could just say you describe it to him.
It was a man in sort of a fucking gimp suit, wielding a saber.
Anything else?
He proceeds to describe the rest of his traits that I don't know, but he does.
Oh yeah, belt. Belt with like a bunch of trinkets and odd objects. The weird rectangular stone shoes? Question mark. He nods along with this, taking this in.
I feel like the most incriminating, though, is absolutely the gimp suit.
I know of this killer. He goes by many names, many false identities, though I have considered calling him. His magic is stolen from the Fae. He is able to change all manner of his appearance at will, including his clothing. Except for his height and any distinguishable features such as ear shape or tusks. But nose and all else is all
transmogrifiable.
He then mentally takes some notes about how he's dealing with somebody who was ballsy enough to run away with a pact of the Fae
Mental
without
note.
doing without fully doing his side of the deal.
In the back of your mind, you hear,
Not packed. Artificial. False. And yet true.
Where do you think he might have gotten the formula for this stuff?
I don't know. But many of his ilk are able to, and once they're powerful enough, to shift into the planes at will. Once a day. Afterwards, no, they are unable to again. However, if you require more knowledge as to how, speak to your foreign ally, your alien ally, for they are a different side of that dice of what they are.
Do you know if they have any enemies I should contact? They might be just as invested at tracking him down as I am.
No, none that know this true existence.
He kind of ponders what question he should be asking.
I
You made an
will
effort to
tell you
ask a good one.
this. I will tell you this. Trust no one. But
he, with his free hand, his free, white, pure white hand, he points to where his ear would normally be and says,
listen, for his voice betrays his intent.
Thank you for letting me know. Do you happen to know any links to the group that I may ask for further questions that you may not have been told?
I will inform you once you arrive on land. For that is only there will it only be applicable.
I might be able to search for those bears in the meantime as well. Thank you for letting me chat with you. I know our pact isn't exactly the strongest.
Such ignorance. The truth is, our pact is so much more than just a simple pact.
as your vision fades, and you're not covered in blood. Instead, you see your hands open, almost like you're expecting almost like you're like a, how do I put this into words? Sort of like the hand position of like, please keep more gruel or things like that.
He then just kind of shakes his hand a bit because
receiving.
he knows this
And you see,
is how he
in your
sees
hands-
this is how the patron sees him, and maybe this was a slight bit of fuckery or a gag.
And you see a single droplet of blood in your hands.
Well, after seeing that, this is a second thought in the back of his head, and he puts this in a little vial to understand for later.
All right, easy enough. All right. So for the rest of your investigation, would you like to take one of your compatriots? Or sorry, would you like to take Abdul? My bad.
Yep.
All right.
Also, maybe to is the person, the patron referred to as the alien on board?
Your friend Benor, because she's not of this world, basically.
Ah, now I remember.
Remember the exact wording. Different side of the same dice.
So not exactly as polar opposite as same coin, but still a thread there.
Yeah. So you remember where he is, or at least where the this group of binders usually resides in. It's actually the very front of the ship, where you see them all just sitting in meditation, just relatively calm, and just complete silence. You see a half-elf woman, a Yuan Ti man, actually, let's see here. You see a Trollkin woman and a Kenku man, all sitting in a circle, as well as Abdul.
Abdul?
Yes. Hello. Sorry, I need to get back to his voice.
I might
friend.
need your help in some investigation. If you wouldn't mind keeping this on the down low.
There will not be a problem, my friend. He gets up and just says, "Thank you for your meditation. I will be assisting my friend in something important."
I
they'll
will
sort of raise a single
attempt to
palm
repay you
open.
for dragging Abdul away from you for a while.
They all just, almost in unison, just raise a single palm upwards towards you. And then they just lower it. That was favorable. All right, my friend, let us go.
Then he goes to talk to. Then he goes to get Benor as well.
Oh, Benor, well, you can try finding Benor. But we'll get to that then. In which case, we're going to move on to Dino.
Dino-sama.
Don't do that. Don't do that much perk.
Listen,
Dino.
I can confirm that I haven't, in fact, rejected my humanity, so.
Alright, Dino.
There was no humanity to reject.
Well, that's fair.
Alright, Dino. Do you,
That's me.
so you're getting you're getting Nolan.
No. In
I was gonna say you're
retrospect,
Nolan.
I don't really need him. In retrospect, what I do need is that hair.
Yeah, well, somebody already took it, so.
What I needed.
Yes, but
I will
you,
track them
you
to
were
the
too
ends of the
slow.
earth. I wasn't too
Alright, well-
slow. You just picked me last.
Oh, I asked everyone to see if anyone needed the hair.
When was that?
I don't
It was
know.
it was with Flutter.
And I replied that it was with the proper authorities, and now she has. Is there any reason to get it from her?
I don't see why she'd need it.
For tracking because she knows a tracker.
I'm a better.
True. I mean, in some
was-
cases.
Was it Flood Ryuk, whatever the wolf's name is? Was it the hair that he had sniffed out in the beginning, or was it something else? Because
It was a hair when when the culprit teleported.
I thought there was a hair and something else that fell.
No.
It was just the hair that fell.
It was just the hair.
We found the
yes,
hair. The other thing that we noticed was we noticed that he used plane shift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the very strong smell of cured leather.
Yeah.
I don't see why you need a hair for
Yeah.
smell.
Traces of the smell left over on the follicles.
I need the hair specifically.
Alright, so you're not taking Nolan.
I mean, I can. There's nothing stopping me.
Alright, just making sure. So do you want to take him with you? To watch your back or some shit like that?
Nah, I'm probably fine. Probably. And if I die, well, that's a shame.
Alright.
I mean, you're a 12th level wizard.
It is difficult for me to die, yes.
There's probably at least 3 30 level characters on this ship. That's being...
Yeah. Maybe not.
Brother's been a fuckboy.
Besides, Nolan... Yeah, so I guess I'm going to throw out this bar scene. Fuck.
Hell.
Damn it. Alright, moving on. So, so where do you go? To investigate specifically.
Well, because I need the hair, first question is find out wherever Vera went. Surely someone knows this.
There's also the lipstick. I mean, you could probably use if you need it for like divination or anything like that.
It's not from him, though. That's the problem. It is not Hugh's body part. Need part
It
of
was used on him. Remember?
Would that count for the same level of efficiency as the hair when it comes to the spell scrying?
Yep.
No, well, I'll
Basically.
use that.
Fucking okay. Alright.
The stick was hardly used except for once, so it wouldn't have been so that you won't get it mixed up with a victim.
Yeah. All right. You can use the lipstick for scrying then.
All right.
In case you are curious, I do in fact have a crystal ball.
Ah, yes, the stereotype of the crystal ball. So do you have one worth one? Oh, was it?
Yes. I took it as a magic item.
Oh. Wait, okay, right, I forgot. Yeah. It's for modifying, it's modified spell component.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Alright. So you have seen this target.
I have.
And you have heard of this target.
And I have the object.
And you have an object that has a bit of their skin and was used on them recently.
Yeah, excellent.
All right. So, someone DC Mastic. Okay. He probably just phone stuff.
I'd like to see him make DC 17 wisdom check when I have all of this.
Alrighty then.
Actually, I can have a -10 to it.
No, actually, yeah, it's a -10. So,
In their detriment.
in their saving, modifier.
Yeah.
But they don't know you. They've only seen you, so it does give them a slight bonus. As in, they've met you. Actually, a bonus of 0. So
I think
let's see here.
it counts from it technically. There was a brief interaction between them.
Yeah. Well, as you sort of as you find, where do you perform this ritual? Like in your room or what?
Probably just gonna stay in the room with the lipstick, to be honest. The room where the murder itself happens.
All right.
No real reason to leave.
You see in the scrying a small room, about like 10 feet by 5. No, not 5. 10 feet by 10. Relatively small. And you see him, whatever, in its full outfit, and lying across all of the walls are guns, cannons, swords, and all manner of staff and spell focus. You see that many of them are heavily intricate, dwarvish, gnomish, halfling, even some Aquan weaponry, or in terms of origin, weaponry, as he's just picking up what looks like flintlock and just and attaching and sliding out what looks like a large rig made for multiple flintlocks, as he appears to be equipping 6 to his person.
Jesus, man. You really need that many?
He then grabs what looks like a sort of, how do I put it, a holster made for a rifle across his back, as he grabs a musket and it just disappears inside. As he then grabs a blunderbuss and as it disappears inside. And then he just you hear a groan as he picks up a cannon and disappears inside the sheath. Or not sheath, holster.
Uh-huh.
You see that he begins, as he sort of grabs like multiple different kinds of ammunition, many of them magical in nature. A few silver, actually. Most of them are silver. The rest are magical in some way, shape, or form, with spells charged inside them or things like that. And you see him stop as he turns to a nearby mirror and just walks towards it.
Oh?
He's gonna phase right through it.
Nope. He walks towards it as he grabs the back of his neck as he slowly removes his mask. And you see a human looks, let's see here. He has he has very pale white skin, brown hair. Let's see here. Brown eyes. Actually, no, brown eyes. And he looks an awful lot like Flint. Before it shifts to you, and then to Hajime, then to Parias, then to Tora, then Viva, and he just, as he grabs his head, as he punches against the window, or not the window, the mirror. Make an insight check.
15.
You see distress, fear, and confusion. Not at it happening, but at the faces themselves. Like he he clearly recognizes who they're from, but he's not intentionally shifting. If you wish, you can make a medicine check.
That is, oh boy. That's a wisdom skill.
No.
13.
All right. Oh. Okay, you succeed.
Excellent.
You have heard of this condition mostly because, well, it's a tragic thing that happens with some shape-shifting races, like changelings and the such. He doesn't appear to recognize himself, his actual appearance. Sort of dysphoria. He doesn't appear to remember what he looks like, which, because it involves the self, the id, he doesn't appear to remember who he is. The condition often known as faceless syndrome, where after shapeshifting for so long, eventually the person forgets their original identity.
Now, my question is if it is possible to make a new one.
And you see as he just sort of breathes in.
As a kind of coping mechanism towards this.
He breathes in. As he looks back into the shards of the mirror, his face changes to that of Flint. Not bad. As his voice changes, and his voice becomes exactly like Flint's. Not bad. Not bad at all. So do good for now. As he extends his hand outwards towards nothing, into thin air, and closes his eyes. As you notice small strands of yellow begin to envelop around him and begin to form this cloak. This outfit. Yellow dress pants, a yellow shirt, and a yellow vest, as well as a yellow jacket. Jacket. Before it finally ends at a yellow hood. Or yellow cloak. He puts on an amulet. He pulls out something from his belt and puts on an amulet, which causes his face to sort of distort. Have you ever seen you guys know TV static?
Yes.
Yeah.
Basically, that's the effect that sort of envelops his face, as you're not able to distinguish his appearance at the moment.
Ah, yes, the orange skin texture is now black and white TV static.
Yep. As he begins to shift as he begins to adjust little details of his clothing, he begins to create a pair of gloves, but also yellow. And you also notice, roll an Arcana check.
Hey.
Or history. Actually, no, Arcana history. But okay, still doesn't matter. 32. You actually recognize the symbol very vaguely. At first. And then you actually recognize it. The symbol on his hand belongs to a family crest of a currently existing Azamar family, or not Azamar family, Azamar founded Avroni Union family. Azamar founded Avroni Union noble families can only be created if one of their children becomes an Azamar or is born an Azamar. because also because their divine heritage and their connection to their sort of connection to the gods. You recognize this as a very influential and very powerful house devoted to where is it? There we go. Actually, devoted to Tyr, the god of order and protection. The symbol resembles that of a helmet with a shield behind it, and what looks like fiery wings, sort of erupting from the helmet itself. As he tries to shift it, he stops. No. Maybe I'll find someone who knows what the hell this is. As he looks up at you, and wait. Sorry, my hands are a bit sweaty. He snaps his finger. The vision stops.
Perhaps he wanted you to see this.
Did he just notice me, or did he notice I was there the whole time?
Insight.
9.
You have no idea.
Excellent.
You do have a once per set reroll.
Yeah, but I did roll a 3, and there is a slight chance that it gets work. Fuck it. 19. Much better.
Maybe it might be a bit crazy. No. No, it's not that crazy. Especially if you're dealing with some sort of serial killer, an assassin. He knew that you were scrying on him from the start. Or at least he knew you were going to scry at him at some point.
Makes sense.
And he just noticed you. Sort of a combination of both. He noticed you, but he was not surprised.
He knew someone had the ability, but he didn't expect it then and there.
Yeah.
Well, then. So, alright, very quickly, now that vision is over and done with, very quickly, I very much need a list of passengers on board, and if there are any passengers on board of the family he is imitating.
Alright. Actually, as you give this order, you hear something in the back of your head.
Oh, excellent.
You hear, actually, a series of multiple voices, each one probably from each word from a different person. Ready or not, here I come.
Right. So, with that in mind, after I get my whole deal, if there is a member of the staff nearby that can fetch me that, I need that very quickly. I'm assuming he is after someone of that family. Other than that, however,
He might be after you guys. Well,
he could be. I mean,
he did shapeshift to literally all of us.
and he did grab he appeared to grab a lot of ammunition and firearms.
I have a gnarly plan on how to keep track of our characters through all this fuckery.
well,
We could starve David it up.
okay. First things first.
I was thinking ear piercings, but okay.
Rapid fire sending Parias. Let's want to send it to Parias, probably Hajime, and Flint.
Parias, Hajime, and Flint.
Gonna rapid fire use all of my 3rd level spell slots to cast
What about
sending.
Vera?
I don't have enough spell slots for that. Unless I
You
can
could expend a
upcast.
higher level. Yeah, I mean, you just won't get a.
You can upcast, but it won't have an additional effect, maybe.
Yeah, you also know that
Huntsmen,
Hajime's with
Pariahs,
Any
Pariahs.
spell, honestly.
Yeah, you know that Hajime's with Pariahs.
Alright, well then in that case, I'll just use the 3 spell slots on Parias, Vera, and Flint. And
Okay.
I'm going to send them all the same message, that being subject in yellow, maybe being hunted, potential new victim acquired. Regroup. And that's it.
Regroup where?
Probably back here. Probably,
Assumedly,
slap
the crime scene.
regroup at the crime scene. I have enough words for that, so.
Yeah, regroup at crime scene. Okay. For future reference, you got to remember the word limit and think it out
Those are probably
beforehand,
far
because
smarter.
otherwise we'll just take it as is. Yeah, I know. I'm just making sure for future reference because we all get too comfortable with it. Anyway, so
What am I remembering? The word count?
well, say everything you want to say, and without before you finish the sentence or not sentence, the spell.
You'd be surprised how long you can make 25 words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things to do is say start and stop.
Hmm.
Yeah, and as you do so, we will end the session, and you're handed, of course, the ledger regarding all of the guests and crew members. We'll end the session there. As you guys, as the hunters have now become the hunted. How typical. So,
Well, I
Alex,
know
are you,
what One Piece reference I'm going to do.
so, Alex, are you there?
Perhaps.
Alex. Someone ping him.
With the bruh.
Yeah. Anyways, so what do you guys think of the session?
Shit.
Oh, okay. I guess I won't. Just
No, that
not
wasn't-
be next. I'm
That
kidding.
was talking about it. That was a reaction.
Yeah.
My man's packing a cannon.
I'm desperately
I
thinking.
think I might have BRB'd for too long.
He packed a cannon, a blunderbuss, a musket, and 6 flintlocks.
Why was there no one guarding the armory?
You're assuming someone wasn't. We
Ah.
have someone. We can have someone that plane shift. Perhaps he plane shift to the armory. Yeah.
Maybe. It
Or
would
maybe
be-
he has his own personal armory he's making use of.
I mean,
Maybe
that
it's
was my second thought, but how would he get his own personal armory on this ship? Armory
a
on this ship?
demi-plane.
Maybe? Maybe. Oh god.
He's-
I hope he cast Demi-Plane.
He's powerful.
I'm not sure if that would work with the bubble.
I also don't think I could scry on him if he was in a Demi-Plane.
Exceptions do exist in terms of objects. One moment. Just
End
the answers.
recording session over.
Yeah.